On my mirror, start to blush when somebody says your name. In my stomach there's a pain. You walk in my direction, I go the other way.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kaylin and we are back with another video. Today's video is about all the mystery and psychological thrillers that I want to read this upcoming fall. Now, we all know I'm a mood reader, so it just depends. I might not get through them all, but I do have some that I have set aside that I want to get into that I have not gotten into yet. I've had a lot of them for a while, so it's time. And I think the best time to read mystery and thrillers just seems like the fall, like the cozy in your blanket. It's just a time to read. So we're gonna get right into it. I have 7 books that we're gonna go over. So the first one is The Housemaid is Watching. This one I've already talked about. It was actually in my summer TBR, but I decided to push it back because one, I've heard a lot of reviews just saying that like a lot of it, the bulk of it, people wish that they just skipped to the end or like didn't read, like it was a waste of time, and it just wasn't rated too great. And I'm like, yeah, no, I am already like reading on the slower side and I got out of a reading slump and I don't have time for that. I don't need to be dragged back into another one. So I decided to push this one back into the fall. I do want to read it because it's the 3rd book of this series, so this is going to be one of the books that I read in the fall. Then another one by Freida McFadden I want to read this fall, which I know I'm definitely going to read, is Never Lie. I've heard so many good things about Never Lie that I just have to, so I have that on my Kindle Unlimited already waiting for me to read. So that is another one by Freida McFadden, and I think that's it. I don't want to read too many of hers, but hers are easy reads and I've just heard so much great things about Never Lie, and that being people's favorite. So those are the 2 that I'm going to be reading by her. And now this one is Layla by Colleen Hoover. I don't really know if it's classified as like a mystery thriller. I really don't know, but it just gives the vibe of mystery thriller. I've had this for I don't even know how long. I was on a Colleen Hoover kick and bought all her books, well, most of her books, and I've read most of them, I think, except this one and Heartbones are the last ones that I have to read that I have. So this one I was like, it looks like it's giving fall. It says love can haunt or heal. When Lead meets Layla, he's convinced he'll spend the rest of his life with her until an unexpected attack leaves Layla fighting for her life. After weeks in the hospital, Layla recovers physically, but the emotional and mental scarring has altered the woman Leeds fell in love with. In order to put their relationship back on track, Lead whisks Layla away to the bed and breakfast where they first met. Once they arrive, Layla's behavior takes a bizarre turn, and that's just one of the many inexplicable occurrences. Feeling distant from Layla, Leeds soon finds solace in Willow, another guest of the B&B, with whom he forms a connection through their shared concerns. As his curiosity for Willow grows, his decision to help her find answers puts him in direct conflict with Layla's well-being. Leeds soon realizes he has to make a choice because he can't help both of them, but if he makes the wrong choice, it could be detrimental for all of them. So I guess this is giving like mystery, but I definitely want to read that. Her books are usually always pretty easy to get through. It's not that many pages, so that one's going on the list. If you read this, let me know what you think, because I think back then I saw like many mixed reviews about it, that like it wasn't that good. Some people liked it. The usual with everything. All right, then we have Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I still have never read anything by her. I think this is the only book. No, I have 2 books by her. So I've never read anything by her. I hear mixed things as well, but I see her books everywhere. So this one says, no one ever just disappears. Ellie Mack was a perfect daughter, and then she was gone. 10 years after Ellie's disappearance, her mother, Laurel Mack, is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she meets Floyd's daughters, and his youngest, Poppy, takes Laurel's breath away. Because the eerily cautious Poppy is the spitting image of Ellie, and now the unanswered questions she tried so hard to put to rest began haunting Laurel anew. Where did Ellie go? Did she run away from home, as the police have long suspected, or did something more sinister happen? A haunting page-turner of sheer perfection. Then She Was Gone is a gripping and emotionally resonant tale of one's mother's quest to uncover the clues she failed to recognize and finally discover the truth of what happened to her daughter. So we'll see how that one is. Then this is one that my job actually did for a book club reading one of the months that I got the book, but I did not read it. So this is by Mary Kubica, Local Woman Missing. I've seen a couple people reading this as well, and I've heard good reviews about it. So this is People Don't Just Disappear Without a Trace. Shelby Tiba Joe is the first to go missing. Then Meredith Dickey and her 6-year-old daughter, Delilah, vanish just blocks away from where Shelby was last seen, striking fear into the once peaceful community. After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now, 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one is prepared for what they will find. And some people will stop at nothing to keep the truth buried. So this seems good, okay? Next we have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I don't know his name, but he's the one who wrote The Silent Patient. I enjoyed The Silent Patient. If you guys have been watching my channel, you know that's one of my favorite mystery thrillers. This is, I think he has a new one out too, but I didn't hear great things about it. But this is about Edward Fosca is a murderer. Of this, Mariana is certain, but Fosca is untouchable, a handsome and charismatic Greek tragedy professor at Cambridge University. Fosca is adored by staff and students alike, particularly by the members of a secret society of female students known as the Maiden. Mariana Andres is a brilliant but troubled group therapist who becomes fixated on the Maidens when one member, a friend of Mariana's niece, Zoe, is found murdered in Cambridge. Mariana, who was once herself a student at the university, quickly suspects that behind the idyllic beauty of the spires and turrets and beneath the ancient traditions lies something sinister, and she becomes convinced that despite his alibi, Edward Fosca is guilty of the murder. But why would the professor target one of his students? And why does he keep returning to the rites of Persephone, the maiden, and her journey to the underworld? When another body is found, Mariana's obsession with proving Fosca's guilt spirals out of control, threatening to destroy her credibility as well as her closest relationships. But Mariana is determined to stop this killer, even if it costs her everything, including her own life. So that sounds good. That sounds like a lot is going on. Juicy. Okay, so excited to finally read another one of his books to see if it is giving the same thing that The Silent Patient gave me, or if it's gonna be, you know, just okay. So next I have Lisa Jewell, another one. None of this is true. I've seen this one. This one has been like all around all the time when it first came out. So this one is about when a famous podcaster interviews a stranger promising to divulge the story of a lifetime, secrets emerge that threaten to expose the truth of the lives they both worked hard to project and protect. So celebrating her 45th birthday at the hot new local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summer crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are in fact birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, this time outside Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She tells Alex, on the cusp of great changes in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep going on the project. Slowly, she starts to realize that Josie is hiding some very dark secrets, and before she knows it, Josie has inveigled her way into Alex's life and into her home. But as quickly as she had arrived, Josie Fair disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast, with her life and her family's lives in grave danger. So it says, in this absolutely show-stopping work of She Said, where two women collide on their birthday night, forcing an unforgettable reckoning between two women with huge but very different ambitions for their life. So this just seems like very interesting, and like it'll have a lot going on. So that's why I originally picked it up, but I just never read it. I just don't feel like I'm in like a mystery thriller mood unless it's like fall winter. The last book I have is First Lie Wins by Ashley Elson. This one is about Evie Porter has everything a nice southern girl could want. Excuse my daughter downstairs screaming in the background. Mom left. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. The identity comes first. Evie Porter. Once she's given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then the mark, Ryan Sumner. The last piece of the puzzle is a job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows his job isn't like the others. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened last time. I wonder what happened last time. Evie Porter must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher, but then Evie has always liked a challenge. So they all seem like they're all interesting. So I'm excited to have these 7 books on my my list for fall. I have some nice options to choose from. I already know I'm not gonna be able to read them all like back to back to back to back, because that's too much for a little mood reader like me to read the same genre back to back. But I have 7 options to choose from, and hopefully I get through them all. If not, it's okay, but hopefully we get through them all. I just wanted to give you guys some recommendations as well in case you are looking for fall reads, and we can read them together and talk about them. So that is the 7 books that I am going to read this fall that are mystery and thriller. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any mystery thriller recommendations, please let me know down below. Frida McFadden, of course, I already know she's very popular. So actually it's 8 books, because Never Lie I wanted to include in this. So let me know if you have any recommendations, and I just am so excited for fall. Pumpkin spice lattes, hoodies, everything. I'm just so excited. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.
Reason why